What up? Let's get to it. So sometimes you may ask the question like, does Kwesi deserve some leeway? Yeah, should we cut him some slack as fans? You know, now there's a lot of ways you can talk about it or different opinions you may have. I'm sure some people may have. But at the end of the day, you gotta look at what he inherited, right? Yeah. So you just ask yourself, the things he inherited when he came in the building, as far as, you know, the salary cap, the players, the personnel, lack of personnel, the dysfunction, the turmoil that was going on behind the scenes, the contracts he had to deal with, veterans he had to let go, right? Veterans who didn't want to really negotiate, come to a fair deal, reach fair terms, right? First year of the regime, he had to come in, change things around on the fly, figure out what to do, which players to let go, how to create some more cap space, etc., etc. So Kwesi had a lot to deal with. He had a lot on his plate coming into the building. So that's why you got to ask yourself, does he deserve some leeway? Should we cut Kwesi some slack? You know, people say, the media say, oh, it's on Kwesi. He takes majority of the blame. Even I said it, and I will still feel that way. So even though, you know, what he walked into, the things he inherited, taking the job, he knew what he was doing. He took the job for a reason, right? He could have turned it down, said no. But at the end of the day, Kwesi wanted that bag. He wanted that opportunity. And obviously, he thought, or he believes, that he knew how to turn this organization around, make the Vikings a winning organization, potentially win a Super Bowl one day, right? So with that being said, how much slack can you really give him? I'm sure he knew the situation. I'm sure he talked to the Wilfs. He got the interview, baby. So you can't forget or neglect that part. So at the end of the day, Kwesi wanted this role. He wanted this job. He talked about, he believed in his analytics, his knowledge of the game, him working in the stock market. But at the end of the day, we see clear, the stock market, baby, analytics is totally different, right? From being able to realize a football player, baby. How to go out and acquire talent, free agency, draft, etc. Now, has Kwesi made some mistakes? Yes. Will he make more? Potentially he could. But hopefully he's learned from his mistakes and won't make the same ones again. You can point numerous things out. His first draft, piss poor, atrocious. Now, should he get a break on that? How? He's been around great organizations, great teams. Now, I understand it's a brand new territory from him. His first draft. Never been in that seat before. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of build-up, a lot of hype. You know, from the fans, the media, the NFL. Talk about his greatness, his great analytical greatness, knowing the game, knowing numbers. But as we saw in that first draft, he made some mistakes early. I.e., so far, Lewis Seen looks like a draft bust. Now I would like to see more of him on that field, especially this season. Throw him out there, see what you got, see who he is as a player, why not? What does it hurt? What do you have to lose? Finally see if your first round pick can really ball. I mean, what are they waiting for, in my opinion? At least you know he's physical. At least you know he has speed. But that was a big mistake by Kwesi, especially now seeing some of the players who he could have acquired at that spot, like a Kyle Hamilton, man, someone who I was big on, who I was very high on coming into the draft. Clearly the best safety in that draft, right? Or one of the best safeties, baby. Could have got Jamison Williams, could have got a tackle, a guard, fix the trenches, work on the trenches, right? He could have went any route, but he chose to trade back. Give up his 12th pick, baby. Bad move, bad idea. Then you see him acquire Andrew Booth. Bust, done nothing. If he wasn't a second round pick, he would be out the door, gotta go. Hands down, man down. Brian Asamoah, where is he? It's like finding Waldo. Now, is he hurt or can he just not play? Is he not just good enough? It says Ayatama, he's out of there. He got released, cut, right? So his first draft so far was piss poor, baby. Piss poor. No way around it. So he doesn't. Do you cut him slack for that? Does he get the benefit of the doubt for being a first-year GM? I don't know. I don't think so. Not in that situation. I mean, how many first-year GMs who hit on players, big-time players, right? You look around the league, just the maneuver certain teams made, how they acquired more talent, more draft capital, and really drafted solid players. You look at the Niners, how they move. Kyle Shanahan, their GM. An organization Kwesi was in, around. You think he would learn from that, right? Knowing football players, identifying, being able to identify true talent. See how Kyle Shanahan and the GM, all the talent they have, the perfect money moves they made. Brock Purdy, the Vikings could have had a Brock Purdy, baby. The scouting, who's around you. Him as a GM, who is he putting in positions from the scouts, right? From his main staff, etc. Who is he hiring? What are their credentials, man? Yeah, it's some people in the building, in the office of the Vikings who are questionable. Yeah, you may question their credentials, question moves they have made in the past, right? So yes, Kwesi made some mistakes. His first draft was not great, but you got to think about it. Should he get an excuse with the type of talent he's been around? He's seen the blueprint, seen the way to go, seen what it takes to build great teams, dynamic teams, dominant teams, Super Bowl winning teams, right? So no, I say no. That draft just was a bad draft. Chalk it up and eat it. Learn from it. That's all he can do. Learn from it. Then you look at his second draft. He did a better job, right? A better job. At least you know for sure he got at least 2 players who are hits. And one guy wasn't even drafted. So shout out to the scouts and him on that. UDFA, Ivan Pace Jr. Mekhi Blackman looking like he could be a solid player potentially, you know. But it's still ifs. Nothing is guaranteed. Those guys still have to continue to develop, become better at their positions, right? You know, we've seen players perform well their first year, second year, then have a drop-off. It's part of the game, part of the territory, baby. But his second draft is looking okay. Now, was it a hit on every level? You won't know probably until next year, maybe even the fourth season of the regime, if they last that long. But it seems like Kwesi did better, had a better draft. Give him props on that. Kudos, you know. Seems like he learned from his mistakes, but even then, he was on the phone trying to make a call again, trade back again. So did he really learn? Does he know how to operate and maneuver through a draft to acquire the best talent? Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, had to say, no, hey, no trades. Take Jordan Addison. Take Jordan Addison. He's our guy. Turns out KOC was right. But Kwesi was on the phone ready to make a trade, right? Trade back. So did he really learn? Does he really know what he's doing? Is he capable of building a team? Does he know what true football players look like, baby? And if he don't know, do the people around him know? So it's a lot of questions. So no, Kwesi gets no leeway. Period, bottom line. Great draft, Jordan Addison. Great draft pick. But was that really Kwesi? Or was that O'Connell saying, hey, putting pressure on him, saying, no, Kwesi, this is it. Let's not make the same mistake. Because he was on that phone, heavy. He was ready to dial that number, heavy, man. I wonder who he was talking to, like, hey, trade back, do this, do that, blah, 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 woo, woo. So you got to question Kwesi, man, right? He is absolved from no blame, period. It's on him. He's the GM. He's the top dog as far as making the decisions. Now, the Wilfs are the owners, but they are who they are. And even then, if the Wilfs trying to run stuff, control him, he need to drop his nuts and say, hey, I'm doing it my way. Y'all brought me in to do a job. Let me do it, or I'll get up out of here. Period, bottom line. So Kwesi can't escape nothing. Point blank, period, baby. Then you question his moves in free agency. Now, I know he doesn't have a lot of money to work with. That's something he inherited, period. Mistakes made by Rick Spielman, Mike Zimmer regime, hands down, man down. And no, I would not take Spielman over Kwesi. Not yet, not yet. Spielman made mistakes too. He couldn't identify a quarterback. He drafted some horrible players. Let's not forget that. So yeah, the cap space, the cap situation, yeah, Kwesi wasn't the best position. But even then, free agency, players who were available, even players they cut, right? Like Jawan Williams. Do they need him right now? Are they regretting that decision right now? Especially as far as lack of cornerback depth, lack of talent. Even some may say, no disrespect, we talking facts. Now, I know it's talent in the room, but where's your depth? What is your depth like? Are you talented at every level? Second string, third string, like the great teams are, like the dominant teams are, baby? I would say no. Period, bottom line, I would say no. Hands down. No. You look at the free agency move, Marcus Davenport. He's looking solid. Still some questions about his availability. Can he keep it going? But he's looking solid, right? Byron Murphy, having an okay season. Not great, not elite, but he does his job. He steps up in certain situations. I would like to see more from him, like create a turnover, get a pick. You know what I'm saying? The secondary really has created no turnovers, baby. A lot of opportunities. Can't buy them. Do they want to be great? Can they be great? Are they capable of making a big play? So you can argue the two free agent signings, the main ones. Was it a hit? Was it a miss? It's debatable. It's debatable. So far this season, looks like a miss. And if not a miss, it wasn't a, solid hit. They're playing well. But the team is worse as a whole. You're 1-4. Period. Bottom line. The cornerbacks got exposed last week, the week before. The Chargers receiver, Keenan, 8, had 17 plus catches, 200 plus yards. He ate on Byron Murphy. Heavy. Now, some may say, if Kwesi had more money, he could have acquired more talent. Maybe. If guys want to come to the Vikings, if he could get them in a build, then heavy. So you can look at it many different ways, right? Then you talk about giving him time. Like I said, you really will see how this team is, what type of job they have done in year 3. When it's really Kwesi's team, O'Connell's team, the roster they have built. But right now, the roster looking suspect. So next season, year 3, would it be better or worse, man? It's all in the air. The verdict is still out. But bottom line is, it's on Kwesi. Kwesi built this roster. He brought the guys in, and he took the job. So he believed in himself. Now, I understand, he's new to this. This was all new at first. Mistakes are going to happen. He might even make more. But some of these things he's done are head scratchers. Like not really addressing the trenches in the draft or free agency. The trenches, interior, both sides, baby. He's put too much trust in his players. Being too loyal to certain players, right? No, it's biting the Vikings in the ass. So you must question his decision-making. The players he kept around or let go, released. The players they continue to show favoritism and loyalty to. And I know that's partly on O'Connell's part and the coaching staff. It is what it is, though, man. So can you give a full judgment on Kwesi yet? Can you give a real, legitimate grade, right? I would say in order to do that, we still got to wait to year 3 to see how it all pans out. But right now, from the outside looking in, you ask yourself, has Kwesi done a great job? Has he improved the roster? Are the Vikings better? It's a capital N-O, baby. Nowhere around it. Capital N-O. And I ain't talking New Orleans, but shout out New Orleans. Heavy. But the answer is no, man. No disrespect. I'm just stating facts. And Kwesi, I hope he has taken full responsibility of some of the decisions he has made, baby. Period. Bottom line. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Let me know how you feel. How do you really feel about Kwesi? Does he deserve some slack? A little more time to see what he's really about? Fire them comments up. Fire them comments up, man. Let's get to it. SKOL Vikes forever, baby. Woo!